The bike rider is Cliff Workman, treasurer of the Hells Angels, the wildest bunch of outlaws to come out of the West since Billy the Kid and the Dolphins. He's here to challenge his biographer, a tense young literary journalist named Hunter Thompson. It was Thompson who lived, drank, and rode with the Hells Angels and wrote about them in a bestseller. He was the first to compare them to the outlaws of the West. The critics have been unanimous in their praise of his book, but the Hells Angels haven't been heard from yet. Tonight, Sunday makes author meet critic. It brings together the writer Hunter Thompson and the reader he antagonized the most. That's the bike rider, Hells Angel, Cliff Workman.
What did you think of the book?
Well, I'll tell you, Al and Hunter, everybody in this room, that book is 60% cheap trash.
Cliff, what is a typical Hells Angel?
Typical Hells Angel could be anybody in this room, somebody that likes to ride a motorcycle. I got my own home, I got a job, I got a boat and trailer, you know, I do all things. I raise dogs, I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, let's face it, you're not a typical angel, and I know that and you know that, so let's not get ourselves on that side.
Boy, they're no different.
You think the angel sent Cliff here as an emissary, as a minister plenipotentiary with a high college degree and a yearning for bourgeois respectability? Is he different?
Those are all your words. You can explain them.
Well, you said he's not typical.
No.
You see, actually, there are none of us that care what anybody thinks. Because we are us. I am me. What I do in my home is nobody's business. I don't give a damn. If they don't like me on my motorcycle, it's too bad.
And you say you read the book and you think that I wasn't saying that? No, I know exactly what I said. I spent 2 years in the damn book.
Well, I'd like to then get to the end of it then on why.
Well, let's take a point of the fact you were wrong there, right?
You spent a year with us, why you got your head thumped on.
All right, get to it.
All right, I want to know why we didn't get the 2 kegs of beer that you promised us. Well, this guy here, he's sitting here, he's making $1 million, and he made it off of us. Maybe not quite that much. But
if you knew what I was making on this,
you're making something anyway.
You wouldn't tell me that by credit.
We helped you make it, right?
Yeah.
You said,
whatever
all we
I'm making,
wanted, there was nothing about money, nothing about a share in the book, nothing about anything. All we wanted was a couple kegs of beer so we could all get drunk. And a copy of the book to each of the Oakland members.
Yeah, I said that.
When you got your head thumped on, you wrote a letter to Ralph, and you said, seeing I got beat up and got my head thumped on, I don't owe you guys nothing.
I didn't figure I did. But now, wait a minute.
No, but you didn't tell the people why you got your head thumped on.
Wait a minute, which 2 kegs of beer are you talking about? What are these?
2 kegs that you were going to give us for... We've had you in our home, we've fed you, we've given you beer. You didn't pay for nothing on those runs.
I don't think you were in my house. A lot of angels have been in my house and drunk a hell of a lot of beer.
Well, sure.
So I think it's fairly well
And they still like you. But they don't like what you're doing.
Why did they thump him?
All right, this man here, you got into a man's personal argument.
That's an outright lie.
No, it
I heard
isn't.
that this afternoon, and go ahead and tell it.
All right, this is my side of what happened.
Okay, you weren't there, so why don't you preface it with that?
This is what happened.
Okay.
And you say if this isn't right. Junkie George was beating his old lady.
Junkie George? Junkie George?
Junkie George.
If you say so.
Now, this is what happened. I'm serious. Junkie George was beating his old lady.
I remember
Junkie George's dog. Now listen to this. Junkie George's dog bit him, right? To me, this is a personal feud. If a guy wants to beat his wife and his dog bites him, that's between the 3 of them, right?
Thank you. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Here came the peacemaker, right? He doesn't have a patch on. He isn't in the club, you know. And Junkie George is stiff. You walked right up to him and you said, only a punk beats his wife and dog. These were your words. Now, you said it. You said it to this man, and you backed up.
You finished.
And he said, Hunter, you want some of this? And you said no. But you got it anyways. And when he hit you, 3 or 4 others of them hit you, too. Well, you got in your car and you left. That's when in your book you said you found Magoo asleep in the back of your car, so you stopped and he got out. But the next day, if you'd have had any guts after living with all of these people, you'd have come back up there, had a beer, and sat down with everybody and said, all right, I made a mistake, or somebody made a mistake, so what, let's have a drink. And we've never seen you since.
Well, why don't you
We've never seen our 2 kegs of beer, and we've never seen our book.
You're finished. Are you finished? I was talking to Fripp. It was about 3 in the morning, and we were talking about whether my BSA 650 would run with his chopper. And we were kind of comparing, you know, the ratios and top speeds and roads. And I was watching, what's his name, Junkie George? I don't know who, I didn't know the guy. But there was somebody about 30 feet to my left beating his wife to a pulp on the rocks. And I thought, well, that's, you know, kind of ugly, but that's the way the game's played in this.
If he'd been beating her that bad, somebody would have stopped her.
Oh, no, don't. You're kidding me, and you're going to kid everybody else. No, nobody stopped him, and you know he beat his wife up. You just said it, right?
He was beating his wife.
Okay.
He wasn't had her on the ground with a big rock or something, you know.
No. She was lying on the rocks, and he was giving her this, you know.
To keep a woman in line, you got to beat him like a rug once in a while, you know.
I agree. When he was doing it.
That don't mean
he was doing it. You know.
His dog evidently thought it was wrong because his dog bit him. Right?
Well, I wouldn't pay that much attention because I've been around.
So he kicked his dog, you know.
Wait a minute now. Let me just get to it.
If it had been me and I was going to say something, I'd have said, go ahead and beat your old lady, but don't kick your dog anymore.
You said that.
I'm sorry, Hunter. We're finished.
In other words, I can't.
Well,
you can get my own version of it.
I'm afraid you'll have to do it privately.
All right.
Thank you both very much for coming.